Hey guys, my name is ManiKarthik.com. Hey guys, my name is Mani Karthik and welcome to my channel. I wanted to share with you something very personal today, which is my own personal journey from being a blogger and how I went from making no money at all from blogging back in 2005 to making about six figures in dollars. And it's not an overnight success, as many people will tell you. It took me 10 long years to get to this level. And I actually went from being a freelancer and a blogger in India to Silicon Valley, where I worked for a lot of small and big startups. And I'm currently back in India, and I created my own company, my own home studio, which is what you see here with the logo and everything. And I'm full-time blogging right now, and my income is entirely from blogging. So I wanted to share with you this story, and maybe you'll find it useful. I haven't revealed this for a longest time right now, but I think it's right time to reveal it. So let's do it. Awesome. So, some of you already know me from some of my blogs. I blog at manikarthik.com, also on dailyseoblog.com, where I talk about blogging and stuff like that. But when I started my journey, I was actually in 2004, 2005 doing a lot of websites on my own. Websites in the sense, not your blogging kind of websites, but mostly discussion forums and communities and stuff like that. Mainly focused on like celebrities, music, that kind of stuff. Back in those days, that was the rage. But just to take a step back, I got my first computer when I was in 8th standard, 8th or ninth, I believe, when I couldn't afford it. One of my friends, his name is Rizwan, his dad, actually got a Pentium 2 processor computer, and we, managed to spend some time together on it. And the first time I saw it, I almost fell in love with the computer and also internet. Back in those days, you had those dial-up connections where, you had that funny music when you logged into the internet. I fell in love with it because it was all about connecting with people all around the world. You had chat rooms, Yahoo chat rooms, a lot of hand-coded HTML stuff. And back in those days, you used to get a magazine called Chip, which was a computer magazine. But it wasn't the magazine that interested me because it had a free CD that came with it. That CD had a lot of interesting, fun stuff, like a lot of demo software, a lot of demo games, a lot of utilities and stuff like WinRAR or some Photoshop kind of programs and stuff like that. And ever since I fell in love with the computer, I used to beg and sit with my friend at his home, locked in a room and trying out different stuff. All these different utilities that came with Chip. So I used to buy the magazine, take the CD to his place, to my friend's place, and check it out on his computer. And it was quite an interesting thing. And somehow along the way, I got stuck with HTML and web designing, which got my interest because I was a little bit of a creative person that time. So I started coding websites myself, HTML, JavaScript and stuff like that. And I created a lot of websites, mainly, celebrity focused and music focused and that kind of stuff. And so that went on for a while. And what happened afterwards was that I read a magazine at one point, and it had a interesting feature about somebody called Amit Agarwal. Some of you may already know him. So he was blogging at that point on a website called labnol.org, labnol.org. He's still blogging. He's one of the first professional bloggers in India. So I came to read about him, and I was totally heartbroken. And the reason is that here I was making these hand-coded HTML websites and everything, and I wasn't making much money out of it. I had tried AdSense back in those days, but it was, very, very, very less what the earning would come from it. But I read that Amit was making lakhs of rupees from blogging and ads. So I was heartbroken. I said, I've been doing this for the last 1 or 2 years, and Here I am making nothing, while this gentleman who apparently was in the US and he quit his job and he's working from home and making this money. I was like, this is the perfect job for me. So that's how I got into blogging. So I started with a blogspot blog and started writing stuff that I was passionate about. I wrote a lot about music and things, random stuff that interested me, travel, food, and stuff like that. And there wasn't any visitors for a long time. Um, so then somebody suggested that I write about my experience running these community forums and websites before, the hand-coded HTML websites before, which sounded like a good idea, although boring, but I tried it. I started journaling sort of my journey, running these websites, like what changes I would do, if I changed a page title or found a new keyword. All that stuff I used to journal in the blog on a daily basis. And it wasn't quick, but over a period of time, what happened was that a lot of people started responding to these blogs that I was writing. Started getting comments from some random guy in the US or Ukraine, talking about how he found that strategy interesting, or how he implemented the same thing that I suggested on the blog and how he got some results, stuff like that. Or somebody would come in and say that whatever I was saying was bullshit. So this whole commenting thing and getting feedback from some random person halfway around the globe kind of made me to do this again and again without stopping, even though there was no money coming in. So long story short, after a period of time, I started getting a lot of freelance gigs. People started hiring me for their websites, asking me to generate traffic for them, do SEO for them, designing and stuff like that. And I started making decent enough money there because I was getting a lot of freelance gigs from the US, and it was pretty good actually, in 3 to 4 digits per month sort of. So I kept doing that for a while, and one of my clients who was there for about 2 to 3 years. In 2007, he asked me whether you would like to, as in whether I would like to come to US, because I was working with him freelance remotely, and he said he has a team in Miami, and would I like to come and join the team and manage them. So which sounded like a good idea to me. So what I did was I migrated over to US on a visa and started helping him with the team. And the US was basically a big eye-opener for me, because there was things, strategies, channels, and different tools that I've never had heard of. So before I was now working with small and big startups, even big companies like Citrix and stuff like that, and helping them with online marketing, generating traffic, doing SEO, doing PPC, the Google Ads thing, email marketing, and lead generation, and multi-channel optimization and stuff like that. I was talking about now ROI and all these big jargons and marketing and stuff. It was quite a wonderful experience. But the interesting thing is that all this while in the background, I was still passionate about blogging, and I was doing blogging on my own. So on my personal blog, manikarthik.com, I used to write about random stuff, like stuff that I thought was interesting or I had an opinion on. So I wrote about stuff like when the iPhone came to India, I wrote about that, why it might be a failure. I was wrong, but it was an opinion piece, and I got a lot of attention from the tech community. I wrote about how A. Rahman's songs were a lot of inspiration. So if you still Google about inspired songs by A. Rahman, you'll find that my blog is on the #1 page. Then a friend of mine was going through a really bad phase, and I kind of, in that urge to convince him, I wrote a blog about how to suicide. And don't get aback with the title. It was a sarcastic piece where I'm trying to compel him not to suicide. And basically the title was not how to suicide, it was 5 easy ways to suicide. Easy and painless way to suicide. So today, if you Google about how to suicide, you'll see that my blog is on the first page. Random stuff like this, which is in no way connected. And when I was in the US, I started, writing about a lot more interesting stuff like NRI matters, how an Indian can survive in USA, what are the financial things you should take care of, and a lot of different things like that. So basically, it was my personal learning that I wanted to share with people around the world, and that's why I blog. and some of them got picked up and a lot of people found it interesting. Some of them weren't, and nobody knows about it. Long story short, again, I started working for a lot of big companies, and after a period of time, I got bored and I thought, why don't I do this for myself? I need to go back to India. So at that point of time, the Trump presidency came, and a lot of people were talking about hate crimes and how the whole environment has changed for immigrants and all that. And I thought, maybe this is the right time to go back. So in that environment, I created another website called returntoindiakit.com, which is basically a sort of a list of things you should do before you actually return to India, being an NRI from the America. So it was a fun website. It still is available. It's called returntoindiakit.com. It's sort of like a DIY, do-it-yourself kit for people in US who wants to return to India. It was a kind of a fun project I did. I did it in about 24 to 48 hours over a weekend, just because of the urge to do something fun. And this website got really viral. A lot of people, the NRA community, shared it a lot. And it was a huge hit, like almost an overnight hit, I would say. And before you know, I had BBC and CNN and all these big channels, The Quint, Yahoo, a lot of Indian channels, interviewing me over this website and how it is helping Americans move back to India and everything. So today we have like a big community of Indians wanting to return to India and who actually return to India, helping each other in that community. So anyways, these are examples of stuff that I've done. And what happened during this time is that my blog somehow got picked up on search engines because of probably SEO and all that stuff, or maybe because of the content that I write or whatever. I don't know what it is. Like they say, right, there is that 80-20 rule, the Pareto's principle, right? And that actually is working out in my favor as well, where you write about a lot of stuff thinking that they would pop or they would get popular, but actually what gets popular is that 20% of your effort. And to get to that 20%, you need that 80%, but that 80% will get ignored and that 20% will pop. And that's what happened to me as well. So anyways, over a period of time, I was making the revenue from my blog was going up. So it went from a few dollars a month back in 2005 to about 4 digits in revenue, all from advertisement, affiliate marketing, ad sales, and stuff like that. And now people were emailing me about if I can feature them on one of my articles, and they would be happy to pay me and stuff like that. So then I thought, like, wow, this is really interesting. Maybe I should just because I was making a lot of money now on the side, which was double that of what I was making in the US my entire year. So I thought, this is a good idea. I should just quit this and go back to India and travel around and do my own stuff. So in 2017, I made that decision. I put my papers down. I was in the process of getting a green card and permanent residency in the US, like a typical American dream. Since it's been 1 year since I came back, actually, and here I am. So right now, revenue entirely from blogging is in 6 digits. It comes from AdSense, ad sales, affiliate, content gigs, no freelancing stuff. I don't do any servicing or anything like that. It's a lot of a time suck. I don't have time for myself to write about stuff. But this is what I do. And the reason I'm putting up this video is because I haven't actually revealed about this in a long time, because I was kind of shy. Just I don't like the idea of just being being that guy who talks about how I make money and how you should also start doing it and start selling your products and stuff. I don't like that stuff. But anyways, I saw that a lot of people were asking me about what are you doing these days and how are you making money, etc., etc. And I thought this might be a good chance to do it. And also I'm starting this YouTube channel where I'm talking about how I went from making no dollars at all to 6 figures in income entirely from blogging. So I thought this might be a good video to start off in sharing my story. So if you guys are bloggers or YouTubers or basically doing your own stuff, maybe we can help each other, or I can help you guys, give you some tips on how to go about and share my experience. Basically, I'm not the kind of guy who gives absolute tips or anything. My whole idea about life and also blogging in general is to just keep experimenting, because you never know what actually sticks. You only know it once you do it and fail. You just have to be quick at failing and move on and learn from it and do something different altogether, learning from your previous experience. So that's what I believe in, and even today I just keep experimenting with new stuff. This video series itself is a new thing, because I personally am a very kind of a shy person. I cannot blabber or talk really fast like most YouTubers do, or the typical YouTuber way. I need to pause and think, and I talk in a very slower pace, which is very boring. But I want to make sense in whatever I say. So I hope I am with this video. I just wanted to share it with you guys to see if anyone would be interested in learning from these experiences, or continuing that journey to success. So let's see how it goes. Thanks for listening. Do subscribe and like and subscribe to my blogs, or connect me over WhatsApp. My number and everything is up there on the website manikarthik.com. So we'll see there. If you have any questions or comments, do let me know in the comment box, and I'll try my best to reply to them. All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye.